everyone, and welcome to the first A to Z Belly Dance support group for 2016. I'm Ketty, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this group. In the next 8 weeks, we're going to be looking at how you can get the most of your A to Z Belly Dance course. I'll be supplying some extra materials as well, with a particular focus on musicality. Now, this is an area that I'm currently researching for uni, so it does entail a lot of trips to Egypt and bringing materials back, which I hope will be useful for your own dancing. This week, it's important to set aside 3 hours every week for the next 8 weeks. I've supplied you with an 11-page PDF, and in this PDF, it goes through the weekly process of how we're going to progress through this A to Z course. And one of the main things you need to do is carve out your time in advance. It's really important to also, oh, there's my daughter playing in the background. I'm actually sending this from a hotel room in Malaysia. So the first thing to do is set up your diary and your space, two incredibly important things in our belly dance practice. If it's not set up, it just doesn't get done. So what we need to do is, instead of waiting for that creative impetus to strike, it does, but sometimes life gets in the way. So what we need to do is get our diary out and carve out 3 hours every single week for the next 8 weeks. That's your sacred dance time. And also create a special space for yourself. That might mean using a room in your home that you can dance in. It might be you might be required to move some furniture or set it up just for those 3 hours a week. Or you might have a dance space that you can either rent or hire, or you might have your own dance space. But the most important thing is to, number one, have the time to do this and have that time carved out and just not negotiable, so that you say to yourself, not, oh, I should do this, but I must do this. This is something I must do every week, and I will do every week. This is how you'll get through the course. Now, your sacred dance space, it should be filled with things that make you want to dance. So even if you're going to a certain hall or a studio or an area that's not your own, just take along a basket full of goodies like veils or incense or whatever you like to make that feel like your space. I can't stress the importance enough of creating sacred space for your dancing. So that's what we need to do this week. 3 hours for the next 8 weeks scheduled into your diary, plus having a space to do this in. Now, we're also going to be looking at why the focus is musicality, and basically it's to understand aesthetics within a framework for Egyptian style dancing, which really is the base for almost all the belly dance styles in the world, including our fusion styles. Even the Turks had some influence from the Egyptian dances, and that went both ways. But as long as you have a good grounding in the Egyptian dance, it will serve you for any form of dancing, right up to Gothic and fusion belly dancing. So it's important to know your basics. Structure is your rhythm, your percussion, the groove, the feel, the tempo. So that creates a framework for your dance. Then the melody brings out your lyrical expression. It brings out your story, the nuance, the subtlety of movement, but that works within the framework of dance. If anyone is more interested in going into the sacred geometry of this, I do speak about it in my ebook, which is The Script Secrets of A to Z Belly Dance, where I actually explored Arabic script to give me a lot of ideas about how the Arab mind processes structure and format through their own writing styles. Now, it's interesting because a lot of the Egyptian population, for example, is illiterate, up to 90% in the rural areas. So even though they are illiterate, they still see this Arabic script and the design of Arabic aesthetic all around them. And that really does give them an impetus into their own musical style and their lyrical expression of dance. It's all tied in because it's all about some kind of language of expression, whether it's an expression through the body or through art or through the spoken language or song. In the next 8 weeks, we'll go over the energetic value of the dance, which might seem a little esoteric to some people, but it's, again, all part of the wider spectrum of the universal aspect of this art. This art is embodying the elements, earth, water, fire, and air. It's expressing different kinds of emotions and feelings from our body either out to the audience or from an audience back to us if we're performers, or if you're just dancing for yourself, it's really about response to the music. So that's why musicality is so important, musicality and rhythm. In this PDF, we also look at the importance of starting from the ground up, and that is footwork. Why? Because footwork and rhythm, your percussion, all work together and create your basic framework. So your framework always starts from your feet. Now, every week you will be receiving a video clip from me. You'll also get a PDF and some music. So these are 3 things that you can work with. So in the PDF that I supply, I just briefly explain how you set up your A to Z online filing system, which just means making 3 different folders in your computer. One is for your A to Z course, the other is for your A to Z music, which can be the stuff I send you, the stuff from the CDs, and also your own choice of music. And lastly, a folder for the materials from this course. I'm also going to send you a rather new set of assessment criteria that you can always reference, and that will be applicable to your course and emailed to you directly. So keep that together with your A to Z course materials. Again, it's updated information, and it's really good for you to always be able to reference that when you're practicing. This first week, I'd like you to simply read the PDF. It is quite a long one. It's 11 pages long, just to get your head around the fact that we need to factor in some time for practical study, because A to Z is a methodology. With methodology, you need to learn at an intellectual level how to structure and organise your learning. Secondly, we have our practical part. Now, for the A to Z original and advanced personal techniques, I would suggest 2 hours of practical time, of dance and experiential time, and 1 hour of study time. With the teacher training or the graduates who are joining us, I'd like you to divide that equally, 1.5 hours of practical time and 1.5 hours of desk time. So that's really all for this week. There is quite a lot to get through in terms of setting up your space, looking at how we're going to be proceeding through the next weeks, but most importantly, it's about understanding why we're looking at musicality, setting up your space, and looking at really your footwork and how it's important to learn from the ground up. I call the first week our structural week, because we're actually giving our course, our body, and our mind a kind of structure to now set us up for success with the rest of the A to Z course. Have a wonderful week, and please report back on the Facebook forum. It's a lovely place for us all to share. Thank you, everyone. See you soon.